So, I just saw a video today from a friend of mine, and you can go check out his channel called Year of the Bear. I'll post a link in the description. And he posted a video today of his bug out bag, or 72-hour bag, or whatever you want to call it. I thought that was an interesting idea, and now I'm not going to show you my main bug out bag because it's a duffel bag, and this video would be an hour long, especially trying to explain some of the stuff, because I got some crazy stuff in there. Maybe we'll get to that one day, but right now, let's take a look at my 72-hour bag. So this is my bag right here, and as you can see, it's very full. And I actually take this with me if I'm going to be out in the woods a lot. And I usually have water bottles on here, but I recently took them out to clean them. I have a pocket on each side. I usually carry two. Those are not on here right now, but they're usually part of my kit, so keep that in mind. But yeah, this is just something that would get me through, maybe like a week or so if I had to be trapped out there, or like if I got injured and no one was going to help me. This isn't my main survival bag. This is just my small one. So let's go through this and see what's all in it. I'm going to start with the big stuff first. So let's get to that. So the first thing I have in here is a hatchet. I always carry a hatchet. This is a Fiskars hatchet. They're very cheap, but they work very well. I always have to have that in here, because if you're going to be surviving, you're going to be chopping a lot of wood for fire and stuff, or even for shelter building, so you got to have that in here. Also, one thing I should mention, I also had a tarp that was in here, and I took it out for whatever reason. I forget why. And I forgot to put that back. But I do usually have a tarp in here as well. But the next thing is, I have a machete in here. The reason is because I don't want to use my knife too much and wear out the blade if I can use a machete for a lot of it. And the hatchet's for more heavy duty, and then the machete's for lighter duty stuff. And this way it saves me on knives, because I don't want to wear out my knife if I'm going to need it. But I do have multiple knives in here, so. And here's a knife I do carry. This is a Cold Steel Bushman. This is the Bowie version. And I like to have this in here because it's got the hollow handle. I can make it into a spear, and very useful when surviving, especially if you didn't bring a gun or something. You can hunt with that. Also, I have rope because it's useful for shelters, tying your food up in a tree so bears don't get it, all kinds of stuff. But when I make shelters, I usually use twine. This way I don't have to sacrifice better rope. So it's just something to consider. In this bag, I have an emergency blanket in case I'm becoming hypothermic. It's very useful to have. You can buy it for very cheap. I also have, let me take it out so I don't have to try to show you. So this is a blanket. You can tell this box is beat up, but it's been in here for a while. And yeah, I have used one of these before. I can tell you they work quite well. I also have a signal mirror in here. Not only is that useful in a survival situation so you can signal for rescue, but if you have other people out there with you and you want to convey messages back and forth but be quiet, you can signal messages. So just something I like to have in there. And of course, I have a rain poncho. If you're out surviving, a poncho is incredibly useful, especially if it's cold outside. You do not want to become hypothermic because you could die very easily out there. Here's a small medical kit. I have all kinds of stuff in here, from Neosporin to Tylenol, ibuprofen. I got a small sewing kit in there for sutures, hand sanitizer, Q-tips, Band-Aids, gauze, all kinds of stuff. You just never know what's going to happen, and it's just nice to have. I got a lot of stuff in here, so bear with me. In this bag, I have my SOG folding shovel. Now, I did do a video on this where I said I didn't like this shovel. And truth be told, I still kind of don't like this shovel. But I'd rather have this than nothing. So, I do keep a shovel in here because if you're going to be out there for a while, you might have to dig a fire pit or a bathroom or something, and you never know. And the last thing in my big compartment is a file. I always keep a file out in my bag with me, and that's because if my hatchet gets dull, just a few quick swipes on it with the file and it's nice and sharp. So it's very useful to have with you. You could also get like a Lansky puck or something. I don't have one at the moment, but that file works great. And that was my big compartment. Let's move on to the next one. So I didn't want to just leave all this stuff out and have a huge pile of stuff on here, although I could have showed it all off in the end. So stupidly, I put it all back in here to show off the next pocket. And it's kind of a pain to do that, to unload it, to pack it, and go to the next pocket, unload it, and pack it. But bear with me, I wasn't thinking. But now we're moving on to the second pouch, and this is mostly knives. And I told you I carry multiple knives in here, and they all serve their purpose. And I do have more than knives, but yeah. The first one is a very, very sharp Camillus knife. I like this knife. It was super cheap, and this thing is so incredibly sharp. And for $10, it was worth throwing in here. I figured if I'm gonna be having to hunt or something, a nice sharp knife is key to that. Also, I do have a 3-piece hunting knife set, just because honestly, I just had these laying around. I didn't know where else to put them, so I threw them in here. They might come in handy one day. So another thing I had lying around, I didn't really know what to do with it, so I threw it in here, was a bone saw. It's a Camillus bone saw. I have not had a single need for this saw yet. I don't know what I would use it for, but on the off chance I do need it, it is in here. Then I keep my Mora in here because this is, as it stands right now, my best bushcraft knife. If I need to carve something or make something, this is my go-to knife for that, because that skeiny grind is insanely sharp, and these are just great knives to have. You buy them for like $12, throw them in your pack, and when you need it, it's there to rely on, and it's not going to let you down. This one I keep in here just in case I don't have a knife on me, which I usually do, but on the off chance I'm in a hurry or I forget. This is another Camillus. I like this knife because, again, it's razor sharp, and I beat the hell out of it, and it still keeps going, keeps an edge for quite a while. And it's just a nice knife to have in here. It's just like a little beater knife for most things I'm going to do. And the last knife I have in here is my knife that I made out of a lawnmower blade. My very first knife I ever made. And in all honesty, this knife serves no purpose whatsoever, and apparently I need to clean this, but this is a very useful knife, and it is very sharp, and I do like this knife. It's just, I threw it in here because this way I always have it on me. I don't know. Sentimental, I guess. It literally has no reason for being in here other than that. But let's see what else we have in here. Because honestly, I forget sometimes. I have a multi-tool in here. Jeez. You never know when you're going to need a pliers or wire cutters or whatever. You never know. It's always better to be prepared. You know, you want to have something and not need it rather than need it and not have it. So I always keep a multi-tool. I also always keep a headlamp in here. So that's handy. Because if you're going to be out there at night, it gets pitch black out there. You're going to want to see. So a headlamp is perfect because then you don't have to hold it. Just make sure you keep extra batteries on you. I got a lot of stuff in here. Hold on. I got a lighter, another lighter. I like to get bright colors so that if I drop them, you can see them. I have weatherproof matches in a waterproof case. Very useful in case the lighters die. I can always get a fire going. And I also have my ferro rod here. I actually tend to use this more than lighters or matches. I love ferro rods. I like using them. So always keep that in your kit. And if you don't know how to use it, definitely learn how to use it. And I have this little ball compass that I got out of one of those crappy old Rambo knives. I do have a video where I beat the crap out of that knife until it broke, and it didn't take much. But yeah, I kept the compass because this is the only part of that knife that was actually useful. So I throw that in here just on the off chance I need to know directions for something. But that is my second pouch, and I have one more pouch to go. So I have one more little pouch here. Sorry for the long video, but I do carry a lot of stuff, and like I said, I like to be prepared. Truth be told, I forget everything that's in here, but let's do it. And the first thing that's in here is just this cheap little neck knife. I honestly don't like this knife at all, but it has a nice whistle on it, and basically I keep it just for the whistle. I do live in bear country. A nice loud whistle will scare a bear, so it's very useful to have. In this plastic bag I have aluminum foil, and the reason I put it in a plastic bag was because you never know what you're going to need a bag for. Like if you are out hunting and you get an animal, you want to store the food or store your meat. I always try to put as much stuff as I can in plastic bags just to keep extra bags. But the aluminum foil, I've been in the woods where I try to light fires on the wet ground, and the ground is so damp that it just sucks the fire right out. If you line that with aluminum foil and then build a fire on that, the wet ground will not suck your fire out. So I always carry aluminum foil on me. This is a wind-up flashlight. As you can see, it was left on. It tends to turn itself on. It's not the greatest flashlight in the world, but you know, it works. It's got this clip on it. It's got a little compass, and it doesn't hold its charge very long, but when you wind it up, it does get pretty bright. So this way I don't need batteries, and it's just something useful to have. This is my spork. I don't know what you want to call it, an eating tool. It's by UST. I've used this quite a bit sitting out in the woods eating with this. I should probably clean it for the next time, maybe put it in a bag, but this thing is very handy. It's got bottle openers and all kinds of tools on it, and they're only a couple dollars, and I'd rather eat with that than my hands if I can avoid it. I have some work gloves in here. You never know when you're going to get into something gross or something you need work gloves for. And it is getting colder, so I'm probably going to throw some better gloves in here and a hat. But yeah, for right now, I don't have that yet, but I do have a folding trowel. It's still got dirt on it from the last time I used it. But yeah, this is nice for digging small holes, quick little fire pits, stuff like that. I use it surprisingly more than you think, so it's just a nice little thing to have. One thing I always have somewhere or another is an Altoid survival kit. I honestly, if I didn't have this bag and I just had this and a knife on me, I'd probably survive for quite a while. But this is just like a little insurance policy, so it's just nice to have. And this is a UST waterproof airtight case. And something like this is good if you want to put like paper money in it or medication. I have cotton balls in here. This way I always have something to start a fire with in case I can't get some dry tinder or something. And this plastic case, I'm not going to open it and go through it, but I do have a whole fire kit in here. I got another ferro rod, a striker, some more cotton, all kinds of stuff to get a fire going. I have this knife sharpener. It's not the best in the world, but it'll do. And I made this paracord keychain. It's nice just in case I need some extra paracord for something. Sorry, something came up. But the last thing I have in here is just this crappy little M-Tech knife. Now, the only reason I honestly carry this in here is because it's got a ferro rod in here. And I know I got enough ferro rods and stuff to start fires, but if I tend to lose one or drop one somewhere and can't find it, it's nice to have a backup. And you can never have too many knives, you know, so yeah, I just carry that in there. And that is my, I guess you could call it 72-hour kit, although obviously I got enough for a lot more than that. And yeah, my actual bug out bag is a big duffel bag, and I'm not going to get into that anytime soon because it's just going to be a pain, but that's my main bag. This I take out with me when I go camping or hiking, and if something happens, I can grab this, I can head out to the woods, and I know I'll be surviving pretty decently for quite some time. And if you're a prepper and you have a bug out bag, and you've made a bug out plan or something like that, definitely go practice it, because you don't want to rely on wishful thinking and hope that you're set, and then when shit hits the fan, you're so unprepared that you end up dying or getting injured because you didn't practice, you're unprepared, you don't know what you're doing. So go out there, practice, have a plan ready, and always be prepared. And for anyone who thinks this is crazy, that's fine, you can think that, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And on the off chance that something does happen where it's a shit hits the fan situation, I know I'm prepared. Are you? It's that simple. So that's pretty much it. I'd like to know what you guys have in your bug out bags. Everybody's got different stuff, and it's always nice to see because I'm always curious about this kind of stuff. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you like my video. Make sure you subscribe, and anything else you want to add, let me know in the comments down below.